welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Emma and this is Emma's Cottage. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make some really fun hats using polyester, a hat, and sublimation ink. If this sounds fun to you, then tag along. All right, let's talk about the supplies that you're going to need to be able to complete this project with me. So of course, the first thing you're going to need is your hat. You can find them at Walmart, at the mall, wherever. So there's nothing special about these hats. The next thing you're going to need is polyester fabric. And I always just get my polyester fabric from my local craft store, but I will put a link below to some that you can buy on Amazon if you don't have a local craft store. And the fabric that I used today, I have a ton of this fabric because I have so many different projects that I have planned. My dreams of all of these fun projects that I want to do this fall and this winter. Then the next thing I used was, I have a cutting board. You guys see me use my cutting board quite often in a lot of my videos. So I used the cutting board to cut my fabric. I used my rotary tool to cut my fabric. I also used my scissors to cut the fabric. I used my weeding tool to fray the edges of the fabric. And then I used, this is Fray Check. It kind of helps it to stop fraying. So you want to fray it as much as you want to fray it to. And then you use this to stop the fraying. And then the last thing I used was the Quick Dry Fabric Fusion. This is Aline's original. So again, I will make sure I have a link to everything that you see me using today. Besides the hats, unless I can find one, I will make sure that I link all of those things in the description below. Oh, and of course, the last thing you're going to need, you're going to need a sublimation print and a sublimation printer if you're going to do it yourself. You can buy sublimation prints online. I sell them on my Etsy shop. There's lots of Etsy shops out there that will sell sublimation prints. Mine is a custom, so I don't particularly say, hey, here's this image, I'm going to sell you this print. You guys would just message me and say, hey, I'm looking for this image. Can you print it out with your sublimation printer? So it's not something that I was doing before, but I've had so many followers just really want to get into sublimation and they don't have the printer and the ink yet. So I was like, you know what, if this is my way to be able to help you get started, you could definitely order your prints through me. I'll get them shipped out to you and you guys can have fun with me here on YouTube. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Here we are on the internet. I wanted to quickly show you guys where I found the designs that I'll be using today in the tutorial. So on Etsy, I found some of my cute fall designs from Heather Roberts Art is the name of the shop. And this is the 21 pack fall bundle. Again, I will make sure that I have a link to this in the description below. But I used this cute one here, and then I also used this Farm Fresh pumpkins here. Then if I go to designbundles.net, this is one of the ones that I used. This is a really cute package here, and I used these 3 Christmas trees. And then I've also this package here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. This package here is going to be your Christmas truck SVG bundle, and I ended up using this cute truck. This is another one that I use, the Never Blame Others for the road you're on, that's your own asphalt. I use this. This is one of my top sellers on my Etsy page for shirts that I sell. So that's why I thought it would be so cute to make a hat out of it. And then last but not least, here's the Support Wildlife, Raise Boys. So what I do is I purchase these images, and then most of you that watch my tutorials know that I like to put all of my images in, Microsoft Word when I print my sublimation prints. So the first thing I do is I always go to layout, I'm going to go to margins, and I'm going to go to custom. I do this every time just out of habit. I'm going to change it to 0, 0, 0, 0 and hit enter. It's going to say, hey, you can't do that. I'm just going to hit enter again so that it fixes it for me and takes it straight to the 0.12. Now, we do not need to do that for this project, but this is just a habit of mine. I do it every single time because sometimes I'm playing in Microsoft Word all day, printing design after design after design. And I just want to make sure that I have these set up from the very beginning. What that does is it gives you the most print area that Microsoft Word will allow. So you can see that your little cursor there went all the way over and you have a lot more space to print. But pretty much what I do is I have my files here on another screen. And all I do is just click that image and then I'm going to drop it into Microsoft Word. I then double click on that image, which is going to open my picture format tab. I'm going to go to wrap text and I'm going to go behind text. The reason I do that is so that I can move it around wherever I want it. And then the next thing I need to do is size this to my hat. The sizing in Microsoft Word is going to be found here on the upper right hand side of the picture format tab. And one thing I do first of all is this little arrow here. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to come down here where it says lock aspect ratio. Right now it's clicked. I'm going to unclick that. I'm going to hit OK. So what I did is I went to my height and I said, you know what, I don't want this any bigger than, let's just say 3 inches. And then I didn't want my width any bigger than 3 inches. So that's one way you could do it. But I believe with me, I wanted it a little bit longer. So I want to say that I did mine like 3.5, something like that. So that's why I unlocked the ratios, is so that I could make this design however I wanted it. So that's one of the designs that I did. Let's see, where's another one that I did? Let me find a fall. Let's see. Here's one of the fall ones I did. So same thing with this one. You're going to double click on it. It's going to go to the picture format tab, and we're going to click wrap text and then behind the text. Now, as you can see, these little dots are showing what the sizing is. Well, we know that this is not truly 8.5 inches tall. The image is not. But because this is clear up here, my image is clear down here, I need to crop this image so that I have an actual idea of the size of the image. So to do that, you're going to click crop right here, and that's going to change this from dots to lines. I'm going to grab this line and I'm going to bring it all the way down, almost touching, but not quite touching your design. Do the same thing all the way around. I'm going to bring this up just a tad, as close as I can to the image. And I think the 2 sides are okay, but you definitely could bring them in as well. Just a teeny bit. There we go. And then I'm going to hit my enter button. And now when you click on it, it's truly showing the size. So see how the height changed from 8 point something to 6.29? That is definitely much more accurate. So now at this point, I can either go unlock my ratios, or I can just say, you know what, the maximum height I want on this is 3. I'm going to hit 3, enter. And then it changed my width to 3.77. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's actually great for me. And then I could go ahead and set these here and here. And then I could print my page like that. Let's see if there was any others that were interesting. Let me go to my Christmas bundle, I think. Yes, perfect. So here is the truck that we did. And if I click on the truck, again, double clicking it, wrap text, behind text. Now I can move it where I want to. I like the way this one's cropped. I don't need to change the crop at all. So then it's same thing. Let's just say I want it the max height. I want it 3. And this takes the width to 4.4. Sure, that looks good for me. So truly, you guys, what I do is I just go through and I do this on every single one of these designs. Here's one more. And look, this one we definitely would want to crop. Do you see that? How it's showing that it's way bigger than what it truly is. So again, the way to do that is double click your image. It takes you to picture format tab. We're going to go click crop, click it here, bring it down as close as we can to the design without cutting the design off on all sides. Oops, do you see what I did there? I accidentally grabbed the circle and not the line. So let's go and hit undo. And now this time, let's be sure we're grabbing the actual line. See how it changes? See how my cursor changes? You want to make sure your cursor looks like that. Right there, we're going to take it up as close as we can. The 2 sides, let's bring them in just a tad. And then bring this one in a tad. About right there. That looks good to me. I'm going to hit my enter button. Double click on this. We're going to wrap it. We're going to bring it behind the text. And then of course, this is where we want to change the height. Let's say 3. And then you would move this down here somewhere out of the way so that you can print these all together on one page. You would just keep doing that until you have all the ones you want. And then of course you want to mirror your images. To do that, you're going to go to File. You're going to go to Print. I'm going to click the printer that I want to use. Let's just say the 2760 because I only need an 8x11. You want to go into your printer properties. And then I have my presets set up, but truly all you would need to do to mirror your image is go to more options and then make sure that you have this mirror image selected so that it mirrors it. It basically needs to print it backwards so that when you sublimate, it is going in the right direction. Now I did these prints before, so this is me recording afterwards, showing you guys how I found my images and how I like to print them. Okay, so we've got them all cut out, and I think that I've got them paired up the way I want them. So you'll have to let me know in the comments below if you think these were paired good, if you would do something different, what your ideas are. But I thought this one was really cute. It's like a tan, almost like a greenish tan. So that's where I'm gonna do the, oh, I didn't mirror this one. I'm gonna have to print these again because I did not mirror these. But it's okay, it's okay. We all learn, we all do it. We all have to do it the one time, right? Or in my case, like the 15th time. Anyways, I'm gonna put the cute Support Wildlife Raise boys on this one. That will be so cute. And then this one I thought would be cute there. Fluffy's so cute. We'll see. And then a cute little Merry Christmas truck. I was kind of debating the red on the red, but I think I like it. And then let's see, the Farm Fresh pumpkins. It's a really similar, it's like a burnt orange. I really like this color. And then just this, I think this black on this pop of orangey color is going to be so cute. And then for the funny one, I thought it would be awesome on camo. So there we go. Well, I'm going to get to cutting this polyester so that we can lay these on it so that we can get it pressed. But of course, the first thing I need to do is reprint these because I didn't mirror my images. Okay, I reprinted them. So now they are mirrored. Now, I'm kind of bummed because I must need to clean my printer because I got some lines on this one. As you guys can see, those lines should not be there, which is fine. There's just a few things that you can do, such as cleaning your heads, running. I've seen people get like ribbon and then putting it through because it's usually like the wheel marks that can leave those lines. So I'll have to kind of clean this printer before I use it again now that I saw that. But this hat is actually going to be for me. I'm making it for me. So I think I'll be okay with the 2 lines on there. We'll see. We'll see after I press it what I think. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these other ones away because I don't want to print something backwards. I got my squares cut. We just need to pre-press them here for a few seconds. I usually pre-press for about 5-10 seconds. Again, that's just to get any extra moisture that possibly could be sitting in your fabric because sublimation ink and moisture don't get along very well. It's like oil and water and they don't like to mesh. They don't like to play together. So you want to get all of your moisture that could possibly be sitting in any of your fabric anytime you press with sublimation ink. Actually, anything for that matter. I pre-press almost everything I do. Okay. Then I've got all of my images and I'm just going to put them face down so that the image is facing down onto my fabric. Get my hats out of the way here. And I definitely will probably tape these. Angle my camera so you guys can see me better. And we'll see, I may even be able to fit them all on here, but you don't want it too tight because you still need to, yeah, this actually should work. Move this one there. Because you still want enough of a patch. You want to have enough space that you have the patch. So I think this will be just fine. I'm going to switch these two. Yeah, I'm good with that. And that way we can save this one for later. And then I definitely want to tape these down. Don't ever use regular tape. You'll have a hot mess everywhere. I use heat resistant tape. I've heard some people say they don't like this orange color just because they say that it leaves like an orange residue behind. I have never, ever, ever had that happen. So I've always been very happy with this. I will make sure I have a link to everything you see me using below, in the description below. And then one thing I do want to mention is I'm using 2 different kinds of sublimation paper today. I just like to test them out, see what I think, see what the difference is. I don't know if you can see on camera, you might be able to, and I'll do a close-up. But I am doing the Hiipoo, I think that's how you say it, the Hiipoo sublimation paper. And I'm also doing the HTVRONT paper. And I'll make sure I show you the different images and we'll see if they look any different. These are both the same inks, Cosmo ink on both of them. So these ones that kind of have a pink hue to them, not sure why it's pink, but those ones are going to be the Hiipoo. And then these ones here that have the white with the wording on the back, those are going to be the HTVRONT. And I will make sure that after we press, we'll also be able to see. Now I'm gonna do a piece of butcher paper underneath first. Here's my roll. This is the roll I always use. Back down. Just in case it bleeds through, blows out is what we call it, down on the paper sheet below. I definitely want some on top. Looks good to me, and we are at temperature. Let me raise this back up. So we are at temperature, which is 390 degrees is what I'm doing it at today. With it being 100% polyester, you don't have to go up to the 400, definitely can. I just didn't, my sweet spot with my heat press is usually about 390. So we're gonna do 390 for about 60 seconds. And I always do, when I'm doing sublimation ink, I usually do heavy pressure, medium to heavy pressure. As a reminder, you don't ever want to reuse these butcher papers or blowout papers because the image comes through the paper and definitely could bleed onto your butcher paper, and then you reuse it, and now that image could possibly go onto whatever you're substrating next. These are awesome. They're so bright. So this first one was the Hiipoo paper. So cute. Look how bright that is. Isn't that adorable? So cute. Now let's do one with the RONT. It's the HTVRONT paper. Wow. I'm kind of surprised by that because the paper on the front it didn't seem very, I'm just surprised. Let me just say that. Look how bright that is. That's great. Now really, I mean, the best comparison would have been to do the same image with the two different, but just a lot of ink came out of it. It looks really great. This black one looks great. And just to show you the ink release, you can see the ink release on these are really good. They're both great papers. There's another black one. So that's a good comparison. This was the Hiipoo, and then this one was the HTVRONT at the top. I'll show you the two. And I feel like they both released just as well as one another. They're both great. So this one was the HTVRONT, and then this one was the, am I right? Yeah, and this one was the Hiipoo right there. And the good news is that line that I was kind of afraid of, you can barely see it. So I'm happy with that. Let's keep going here. This one's also a black image. The good news is it didn't undercook. Let me turn this off now that we're done pressing. Didn't undercook, so that was good. At the 390 degrees, it did just fine. Now, if it undercooked, usually what you're gonna see is that your black is more of a green versus black. So I think all of these turned out great. I'm really pleasantly surprised with the HTVRONT. It's a brand that I'm not as familiar with, and I've heard about it, and I was like, hey, I just want to try it out. You know me, I like to try lots of different kinds, and that is a super bright, vibrant image, and so is the Hiipoo. So happy with either of those papers, and they both released great. So not a ton of ink left in either of these, so that's good. Okay, so then the next thing we do is cut these up into the shapes that we want to put on our hats. So let me angle this down a little bit so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. You can either use your rotary tool or you could use scissors. I may use scissors just so that I get exactly the shape that I want. Okay, so let's just start with this bottom one. I definitely want this one just to be a plain square. I'm gonna cut right about here. The nice thing about this fabric is it has lines in it. Hopefully you guys can see that. So you can follow the line to make sure you're cutting straight. I think I'm going to do them a little different. I think I might follow them like a pattern a little bit just to make them a little bit more special. And I think this one I'm going to do circular just to kind of go around it. Okay. Then the next thing I do is I get my weeding tool here. And I like to go around the edges and I just kind of pull off the edges because I want it to be a little frayed. That's the look I'm going for. You know what, now that I'm looking at some of these, they're way too big. I need to go back in and make them a little bit smaller. Okay. So then I want to fray the edges because that's the look I'm going for. So I get my tool and I just sit here and I fray the edges like this. Let me see if I can get in here a little bit closer. So you see you have to pull off this edge for it to fray. You may have to pull off a few of them to get the look that you're going for. Something like that, and I just do that a few times all the way around. And something like that is exactly what I was going for. See how cute that is? All frayed and adorable. And then we're just gonna finish doing that on all of the rest of these. And on these corners, I don't like how it's like super square right there. So I just kind of grab the corner and I kind of fray the corner by itself. Like so, hopefully you can see that. So that it's kind of angled like that. It's basically, you're just fraying the end piece, if that makes sense. Perfect. So cute. If I remember right, I'm gonna put it on that one. That's gonna be so adorable. See, this one's our pumpkin one. We're gonna kind of have to do the same thing. The way we've angled it is not pull it straight across, but just get enough out. These top lines you could do. See, if I were to pull this one all the way across, it's gonna try and pull it through there. So you have to be really careful not to pull the wrong line. Now, do you have to do this part? No. If you wanted a nice clean image, don't do this part. You're just gonna leave it cut just the way it was. But this is a really popular look right now. So if you're wanting to sell hats, this is definitely gonna be a good seller when you have them looking like this. Again, this one's a corner, so we want to be careful. It's going around that edge. If I tried pulling it, it's going to pull it through the image or through this image. So you're just barely wanting to fray the ends, not the whole strand. Hopefully that makes sense. And then what I do is I kind of just get the edges that are still too close, and I just do it with my own fingers like this, just to get them to fray just a little bit more. Same thing on the bottom here. I'm just kind of rubbing it. There you go. It's gonna be so cute. And last but not least, this one, the adorable. And I feel like I really want this one frayed pretty good. I think that's gonna be really cute for this image. So I'm gonna do quite a bit of fraying on this one. All right, and then we're gonna need to do the same thing on the edges because you can see it's like a perfect square. I don't like that look. So I try and just fray these very end pieces by holding down my finger right here so they don't rip up. But I'm just trying to fray the ends. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not going to be perfect, but it's my workaround and I think it works pretty good. Something like that. Adorable. I'm gonna love that hat. So cute. Okay, next we're gonna get our Fray Check. So I'm gonna grab all of these little pieces and I'm gonna turn them backwards or upside down. Like so. And then I get my Fray Check. This is what it looks like. So what we're gonna do is you just get it and you go all the way around where it's all frayed. And as you can see, I'm using a piece of parchment paper underneath just so that I don't get this on my counter. And I'm just doing it right there at the edge. Quite a bit comes out. So you really only need one coat of this. And I'm doing it right on the edge of where the fabric is not frayed and then where the fabric is frayed. So in other words, I don't need to do it up in the fray, just right where the fray stops. I am not squeezing my bottle in any way, like it literally just seeps out. And then we just wait for that to dry before we go on to our next step. Okay, so next we need to hook these to the hat. So let's see here. It looks like there's nothing there. We just need to cut off the tip. So you've got a few options. You could either cut off the tip or you could poke a needle down inside. I think I'm gonna do the latter. I don't have a needle though, so I'm gonna see if I can use this. Perfect. Yep, that was perfect. And I kind of just start like this and I just kind of zigzag back and forth. Okay. Then we get our hat and we're gonna pick this up like so. I'm just gonna center it by eyeballing it here. Something like that. Just go all the way up the rim. Like so. And I think what we could do is literally get another hat like this and put it on so that it kind of seals it there. And I've got these things in between. Maybe that would even be a great idea. Something like that just to help it seal down so that it stays. And then I'll just hook them all together so the stuff won't bleed onto each other. But really, you probably don't even need to. It looks like it's staying there just by holding it down. Just like that. And then it's just gonna take a little bit of time to dry. So cute, I love it. Let's work on the next one. Let's see, this one was gonna be my wildlife one. That's gonna be so cute. So adorable. Oh my gosh, I love these. And what's kind of nice is once you push down, they kind of, what I'm finding is it's staying down. But I'll keep a close eye on these, and if I need to keep pushing on them, I will. so cute. Oh my gosh, didn't these turn out adorable? I love them. And really, what I'm finding is they're really not coming up much. I mean, maybe go back through and just keep pushing them down like you would glue until it's fully dry. But they're staying down pretty well, if you can see that, on all the sides. So maybe coming up a teeny bit from the top, but not much. Nothing that's like concerning. And if it's coming up too much, you probably just don't have the glue close enough. So you may have to go in there and just add a little bit more of the fabric glue. So stinking cute, I love it. Same thing with this, coming up just a tad right there. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more pressure down. But nothing that's concerning. This one's probably staying down the best just because it's so small, where the rest are bigger.
All right, that's it for today's video. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Are you gonna try it? I think they turned out so stinking cute. Learned a few things along the way. Kind of my preference on what size I like. I know these really big patches are in right now, like super in. I'm not sure if I am the biggest fan of the big patches, where I kind of like the smaller patches and like the round patches. Those are more of my favorite. But I know that these big patches are super in right now. People are loving them. So of course I want to make what my customers want. Just to give you an idea of what they look like on, based on the size. Now I have a tiny, tiny head. Like I have to wear kid size hats. So keep that in mind. But look how cute this is. So stinking adorable versus maybe one of these ones with a big patch. This is what one with a big patch would look like. I mean, it's still super cute. I love it. I hope you guys try it. I can't wait to see what you guys make. As a reminder, we do have a Facebook group. It's Emma's Cottage DIY. There's so many great people in that group that will help coach you along, get you guys started, you know, beginning. It's going to be for beginners. It's going to be for people that have been doing this a very long time. We all come together and we all share ideas. So come and join us. Come join the fun. Again, it's on Facebook at Emma's Cottage DIY. And then share what you come up with. If you make some hats, if you use these ideas and make your own hats, share them with us on Facebook. I can't wait to see what you guys make. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And the most important thing, don't forget to ring that bell so that you will get notified anytime that I upload a new video. Until next time, we'll see you later, friends.